So you have four major positions in a company, four major meetings in a company, four major KPIs in a company. They all work together to create the right plan.
You know, Gary and I kind of got a little too high level there talking about boards.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a board and you're a small entrepreneur, that's where a coach, I believe, comes in even more handy, because that coach can be your board of directors. And you don't have to give up, like, you can give up equity in your company for that, you can take on an investment, you can pay them, but no matter what, you have to have someone that you are accountable to.
Sure.
Every level of anything, even an entrepreneur or even a high net worth individual with a family office, there are rules. They can't just go buy a plane, right? Like, there are rules around it. And my partner, Charlie, said this to me. I was frustrated with the board one week. He said, Tim, the problem is you're in the front seat of the car with your hand on the steering wheel, and you're looking at a map, and you know the next turn, you know the speed limit, you're worried about the weather ahead, you know you're going to have to slow down or maybe take a nap. We're not even in the car with you. You're calling us every week to tell us about your drive. And as a board, you're going to have to do a better job at telling us what you're going to need before it. So when you look at the map, don't just get in there in the car and drive and know you're going to stop at the next exit. Go ahead and let them know, we got to stop at the next exit. We just had a huge month. There's a massive fatigue in the organization. We need to dial back, redocument our procedures, go back and do a process review, update our SOPs, and then we can start our next sprint. You have to think like that in every phase of business.
I think there's a huge lesson there. I don't have experience with boards, but what I'm hearing from you is, even though you're in the now and you want to talk about the now, your board is thinking 3 months from now.
Well, no, they're trying to catch up. They weren't in the car
they're 3
with
months
me.
behind you.
They weren't in the car with me. I told them what we planned to do, but they don't know I had to fire this person, or we hired 2 extra people, or we had a third-party lender not fun.
So what are the conversations that they want to hear?
I need to update them on our progress today and make sure I clearly explain the plan, the next part of the plan. But I can't tell the plan if they only see that we lost $200,000 last month, and I don't help them understand why, or why it was more than the variance report, why it was a little bit more, or what happened, or that I saw the lead volume coming in, so I went ahead and pulled the staffing plan forward, which had an impact on that month's P&L, but it's really because I actually think we're going to hit the 100 loan mark in January instead of March like the plan was. If you don't explain what all happened in the car,
Yep.
and you're only the vision, you kept talking about if you're only always talking about the vision and the vision, your partners, your investors, your board, they're not going to understand why things are changing, and what it does, it creates uncertainty.
Yeah, creates distrust. Yeah, strategy has to be created every quarter. It's driven by every meeting structure in organizations attached to a person and attached to a number. So you have a culture meeting. That's the responsibility of the visionary, the innovator of the organization. That key process or purpose indicators attached to that culture meeting. So is the person. Then you have a strategic meeting that happens every quarter. The key profit indicator drives a strategy meeting, and it's usually the business unit leader, the integrator, or operations director, or whatever you want to call it, that runs that meeting, okay? Because they're taking your strategy, creating the plan. Then it goes down into the managers of the organization who run an organizational weekly meeting. Right? We call it the RISE meeting. EOS calls it level 10. That's called an organizational meeting. That's where the performance indicator is. And the managers, they run that meeting. They drive the performance of the organization. Daily tactical meeting, like daily huddles and process and System 60s, those type of meetings are tactical meetings, and the process indicators attached to them, and the employees are a part of that. You see how the structure comes together? So you have 4 major positions in a company, 4 major meetings in a company, 4 major KPIs in a company. They all work together to create the right plan. Now, how a board comes in is every month you should be reviewing your strategy with your P&L in your variance reports, seeing if you're over or under, what adjustments you need to make in order to still hit your goals for the quarter, right? And if you are pivoting, you better let your board know, because they believe you're still driving to Orlando from here, and you may decide to stop at Charlotte, and they want to know why you're in Charlotte, why this costs more money, and why we're not going to hit our plan. Make sense?
Yeah.
So that's where boards get frustrated, is because every month they're not being updated on how we had to pivot the business. And businesses are volatile, man. You have to be willing to adjust. As an entrepreneur, we're not driving a massive, semi truck with 3 trailers on the back. We can turn quicker.
Yeah.
And so we do. But when we turn, we're turning these race cars really fast. We don't let our boards know. We don't let the director, of the board know. We don't let our, investors know. And that leaves them in an area of distrust. Every time we come back every quarter, like, well, I don't believe anything you're saying. You're just going to do something different anyway.
Well,
So,
and for the entrepreneur, the really small entrepreneurs, some of your husband and wife teams,
yeah.
you've got to treat your spouse as a board. You've got to let them, because we all go into this, people leave the seminar and they're like, honey, we're going to make $1 million this year. And then when the credit card's at 70 grand and we've made no money, you've got to treat your spouse as a partner, as a board in the business, and really go through this process, because trust me, as someone that hasn't, it will slow you down.
Yeah, 100% slow you down.